Hello, Lost Woods Draft League players, viewers, and anyone else who may be here. I mean, you're one of those too if you're here. Um, so, welcome to Lost Woods Draft League Week 5. I am Jack Spadesman, Jake, coach of the Boston Blackjacks. I am playing this week against CJ, aka Charjoscho, or Charjoscho, however you want to pronounce that one, and their Divas team name. Uh, their team on I'm Not Streaming the Right Thing. We do it live. I'm not editing this, I don't care. Uh, their team gonna be above me and over here, and my team's like way over there, as it says at the top of the screen. So their team, very tried and true, like Pokemon that they know how to use well. And if this was standard VGC and not a draft league, would be a scary team to go up against. Annihilate and uh, Mousehold combination. Indeedee Mail there to set the psychic terrain as well as use expanding force. Torkoal to set the sun for itself and Delphox. Um, Delphox and Hatterene there with psychic terrain. Gallade there with psychic terrain. Alolan Persian and Electrode there as kind of a fast mode. Vileplume is a chlorophyll sleep powder user, possibly. And Oinkologne probably to prevent sleep, if anything, with Aroma Veil. It is the female variant. Um, so, I'm going to be honest, I'm really not that worried about my matchup this week. As far as the Trick Room Psychic Terrain mode goes, I have a really good matchup into that with Rillaboom and Incineroar and Metagross. Um, Whereas the Mousehold and Annihilate, I have Clefable follow me just to get that one done. Um, as well as Hisuian Zoroark, which is fully immune to Annihilate's attacks. Um, and most of the ones that Mousehold wants to throw out. My biggest worry is honestly the Gallade. Psychic and Fighting are very, very good into my team. I don't have a Pokemon that naturally resists both those typings at the same time because I don't have a pure Psychic type. Um, and no dual type that gets around it like Ghost and Dark, I believe, would be the only typing that does that. Um, so yeah, I had a relatively easy time making my team this week. You're seeing right here, it's just a 1.0, where normally I have 2 or 3 copies, maybe more. I will say I moved the moves around a bit, just on thinking. So first off, tried and true, Incineroar with Snarl, U-turn, Will-O-Wisp, Fake Out. Reason I'm running U-turn is because I honestly, Parting Shot would be good, but I want to be able to pivot out against potential Clear Amulet, get some damage off on potential Sash Pokemon, um, and I also don't actually want Hatterene to switch out. I would rather stay in and get my pivot to something better than make it switch out with Parting Shot. Will-O-Wisp is here because it's going to be able to handle Gallade and Annihilate. But yeah, I'm still running Intimidate. I considered Blaze for 2 reasons. One, so it wouldn't activate Defiant on Annihilate, and as well so Zoroark could actually fake it, and they would think, oh, it didn't Intimidate with Incineroar, that must be Zoroark, but I would be Blaze. Just a thought. I ended up sticking with Intimidate because it gives me an immediate item on any of these Pokemon if they're Clear Amulet, notably on any of the physical attackers. Next is Clefable with the same set I've been running for 5 weeks, I think. I considered Heal Pulse here for the extra healing and the fact that I could actually Heal Pulse Hatterene to heal my own Clefable. But the pressure of Follow Me from Mousehold made me not want to use it. As well, I get to keep Clefable alive, and Redirection is going to be very, very good here. Let me go over the EVs real quick for each of these Pokemon. So, Incineroar versus Hatterene, Life Orb, Terra Blast, from something like Terra Water, or Fighting, or what have you, is not going to be able to KO. Who's calling me? I don't know who's calling me, so I don't care. And then an even HP number for Citrus Berry, because there actually is a Pokemon here that can use Super Fang, so I don't want to deal with that. The rest is in defense, because Annihilate, if it's something like this big, bulky set, and I get a +1 Drain Punch, I have a chance of surviving, depending on the spread, as well as if it is a Gallade, Adamant, with no Life Orb, no Clear Amulet, Sacred Sword is not a KO. For a while, I did have Choppleberry here, just so I wasn't forced to Terra, but I think Citrus Berry overall is just better. We'll see. Clefable, basically the exact opposite stat spread as Incineroar, but Clefable here, trying to remember, probably something to do with Gallade, Psycho Cut, Psychic, Terrain with Life Orb is not a KO. Rest in Special Defense because the team's like all special attackers. I wonder how much Torkoal Eruption does. Not enough. What if it's Choice Specs? Not enough. Good job, Clefable. Rillaboom. This is one of the cooler ones. I'm actually running Brave 9 Speed IV here. And that is to underspeed in DD Male by 1 point. If they decide to run, let's just run Sassy, because that's the one off the top of my head that's minus speed. I underspeed by 90. You sure about that? 100. You sure about that? 84. Gallade? No, I don't underspeed Gallade. 31. Adamant. Wait. We're learning a lot of things about ourselves right now. Notably that I have no idea what Indeedee... That doesn't make... Did I do Indeedee female? No, I didn't do Indeedee female. Did I look at, like, Annihilate? Okay. It underspeeds Annihilate by 1. Sure. I probably shouldn't have run... Whatever. Too late. I don't feel like redoing it. But yeah, that's what it was there for. This could have been 18. And I would have been better off. Might be better off to run that. But I think I'm fine with that. You make mistakes. It's not too late. I just don't want to hold up our match. So yeah, that is what that underspeeds. Same thing with Gallade, Psychic Terrain, Adamant. If Psychic Terrain happens to go up and it's Life Orb Gallade, I'm not going to get KO'd. Lastly, I believe Woodhammer in Grassy Terrain versus Indeedee Male, 252 HP. No. No. It was, I believe, Delphi. No. Gallade. It one-shots 252 HP Gallade. That's the one. And then the special defense is probably for Delphox, Heat Wave in Sun, if it's modest. Yep. So we'll be able to survive all that. All good and well. Vaporeon is next. I'm a genius. This really should have been faster. I don't... What if I'm adamant? No, too fast. We're not worried about it. We make mistakes. Hopefully it won't cost me anything. This Vaporeon is 250, or not 250, enough HP to get the next Leftovers jump, as well as be a higher HP than Annihilate, because I'm afraid of Final Gambit. Maxed out defense, The rest in special defense, with 4 left over to make special attack an even number for Calm Mind, and then just 4 in speed because that's left over. And then I'm actually Terra Psychic with Calm Mind, Stored Power, Muddy Water. Stored Power is able to hit Annihilate really hard. And I mean, Muddy Water, I want to get around the redirection. So I figured this would just be a cheeky little thing. It could be Alluring Voice. It could be, you know, another attack. But I think Stored Power is pretty cool. If I get up 2, it's going to be hitting very hard. Next is Zoroark. I'm Focus Sash this week. I was originally Life Orb, but I did some digging on the calcs, and I decided that Focus Sash would be better, because Hisuian Zoroark versus Hatterene, if it is just 252 HP, cleanly KOs with Poltergeist onto Hatterene, which is exactly what I need. Torkoal doesn't really want to take this Hyper Beam. Hyper Voice is a consideration. Hyper Voice. But it just doesn't do enough fast enough. It's really quite pathetic. And then Knockoff is able to one-hit KO Max Bulk Male Indeedee. Not Max Bulk. No Bulk Indeedee. Was there another Pokemon that was weak to Knockoff? No. But Knockoff... That doesn't make sense, does it? Knockoff. It'll get KOs. Especially if I'm Terra Dark. That's what it is. Terra Dark, yay. Maybe Delphox gets KO'd by non-Terra Dark. Dude, I'm so bad with my calcs right now. I feel so dumb. Whatever, Knockoff is just the strongest option. I know that Knockoff and Poltergeist are really bad synergistically. Hopefully I don't run into that. And then the speed is just outspeed Delphox, which is the fastest thing I can outspeed on their team. And then lastly is Metagross with Life Orb again on this set. I know I'm missing some Adamant jump numbers, but I get the KO on Delphox with Stomping Tantrum. Gallade I'm able to pick up with Heavy Slam, which is insane. Indeedee, I'm pretty sure, drops to Heavy Slam. Like, that's wild. Annihilate, if it's bulky, drops to a Psychic Fangs, if it's very bulky. And then I ran enough speed to outspeed Gallade if it's just Adamant. Yeah, I think that's all I can really outspeed reasonably, while also surviving Delphox, no Sun, Heat Wave. Yeah, because if you drop this, yep, 60 while minimizing the HP. Recoil from Life Orb. Terras are pretty standard. Ghost on Incineroar, I don't want to deal with Sacred Sword. Ghost on Clefable, I don't want to deal with Final Gambit, and I don't want to deal with Population Bomb. Mental Herb is for Taunt from the little rat. Rillaboom, Terra Fire, self-explanatory, but crucially, I also don't want to get burned by anything that the team might want to throw at me. I considered Terra Water as well, but because this isn't weak to ground to begin with, I think Fire is very safe. Vaporeon, Terra Psychic, both offensive and defensive choice, because the only thing that can really stop it once it gets going is Gallade, with like Sacred Sword and Psycho Cut, and the only thing that resists both of those is Psychic type. That's also partially why I went with Stored Power, and it's going to be resisting any like Expanding Force that these things want to go for. Its ability doesn't matter in this matchup. Hydration, I could have run a Rain Dance thing, but I think Water Absorb is just better. Like, because Water Absorb can come up with like Terras, but Hydration never can. I'm also curious what the interaction is with Life Dew and Vaporeon, if like Life Dew will activate or if Water Absorb will activate. Zoroark is Dark for knockoff damage as well as to take no damage from those pesky Psychic Spammers. And Metagross is water type, similar reason to Rillaboom, but Metagross is normally weak to ground. So if they wanted to call a Terra for some reason, I could get out of that. Um, and yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna get into the match. Hopefully, this stat number doesn't end up screwing me over, because I'm pretty sure that this one was originally the one that I had as 9, and then I forgot about it, and Rillaboom was supposed to be 18. But, we move.